Margaret Craig is a printmaker. She got her
degree in biology, secondary education, a BS in art, an MA in painting from the University of Wisconsin in the socialist world of Madison, Wisconsin. She later received an MFA in printmaking from the University of Texas in San Antonio, invented the tar gel pressless etching, and has demonstrated that and other techniques at SCG and MAPC conferences, often involved in trade portfolios, exhibits locally and nationally, including participating in the China Sanbao International Printmaking Exhibition and Symposium, as well as the SGCI Traveling Members Print Exhibition. And right now she is chair of printmaking right here at the Southwest School of Art in San Antonio. Her original biology degree, she says, has been a major influence in the visual and ecological context of her work, and her shop also promotes a less toxic approach to printmaking. Please give a warm Southwest School of Art welcome to Margaret Craig!
Yikes. Okay. This is a talk on why to be an expert in 300-year-old information technology. Intaglio printmaking originated from the engraving decoration of armor and goldsmiths wanting impressions to look at their designs. And here we go. Okay, intaglio refers to any inking process that pushes ink into a texture. Albrecht Dürer, St. Jerome in his study, Northern Renaissance master, circa 1514, about 114 years after the first Western woodcut print, about 90 years after the Gutenberg Bible and movable type. So advances in printmaking open up text to the masses. It also opens up images, and you don't even need to be able to read, sorry Nan, to understand. These are two Jan Zarendam prints entitled The Five Senses and Marriage for Money, late 1500s. Printmaking has had kind of a dual role of both high art motifs and lowbrow images. Engraving is hand-cut. Etching uses acid to cut the image into the metal. Okay, so Rembrandt, great etcher, 1647, the 100-guilder print, Christ preaching to the masses on the cheap. By the way, he also did very lowbrow etchings too, so you can find layers of meaning to the joke. Come up and see my etchings. Today, making copies is easy with Xerox machines, so artists use printmaking methods to produce art for aesthetic effects with copies. This is Banksy using stencils for some street art on the wall of a city sexual health clinic in Bristol, England. And the next one is Swoon, who uses paste to stick woodcuts, generally of family and friends, to various structures. She places her people in disturbing context. With woodcut, the board is cut away and what is left is rolled with ink and printed. Street artists use print methods because it's a faster getaway. And we're waiting for the next image. This is John Hitchcock, installation called Traces of the Plains. Printmaking is a way of making a point by repetition, and here he is not using flat paper images, but cut-out material that resembles the piled skins of the hunted near to extinction buffalo. So prints are also kind of frustrating. Sometimes no press access and being confined to a flat surface. Tar gel was an acrylic medium I tried for a class I was teaching. I put some on an inked plate, let it dry. Tar gel etching was born. Definitely an off-label prescription. And this next installation is called Germ Warfare. The infection goes right through the wall. The two circles are creeping through the wall from the larger infection. My first degree in biology, so my artistic expression relates to changes in the environment wrought by human manipulations. So basically, I make crazy synthetic life. It is intended to entice with color and form. This piece is called Filtered. Tar gel etching glued to melted vacuum-forming plastic. The print becomes pond scum floating on water. And the next installation was at Grey Duck Gallery's suspended sculptures of etching acrylic epoxy, mimic creatures floating in water. And actually, the next piece is a totally different kind of dimensional printing. The Chinese developed a way to make decals for ceramics. I got invited to go over there with a group of printmakers for residency, and they made photo etchings from our images which we put on unfired ceramic forms they provided. On John Zaradam appropriation, my drawing, and some stock Chinese decal. So I reverse engineered the Chinese formula for the ceramic decal etching ink. I had to learn some ceramics first. I got wonderful help since I work here at the Southwest School. Jennifer J. Chuck even tried to find out the formula when she went to China. And so these are some pots with bouquets of tar gel etchings and printed decals. This wall-bound creature has ceramic decals and matching tar gel etchings glued on and floating off its body. So matching etchings in 2 different dimensional media, and it's for me a major thrill. I had a breakthrough and started repurposing plastic packaging for my supports. Instead of buying the plastic new in sheets, so this added new elements to my work. The creatures were actually incorporating plastic trash into their forms, and it made sense with the amount of trash we add to our environment that nature will adapt. This very recent piece that's next has no ceramics, fewer etchings. The bulk of the creature evolved from plastic juice bottles. I've been thinking a lot about the garbage patches in the oceans. And so now we've got another change of subject. This next piece is by Michael Ray Charles. And I worked on printing it, which is something all printmakers will do eventually, help other artists realize their work in print. This was something I realized I didn't want to do, as be responsible for someone else's good time. So I teach, and I also print on paper. Winged Ottoman is the piece after this one. This is another riff on the strange biological creature. My prints are now uniques. I rarely make multiples, but I paint with my plates, printing one image on another. I also use paper marbling, which is an oil slick picked up from the surface of water. I'm still thinking about the Great Trash Reef. I'm creating abstracted images of the sea life mingled with trash. This one is called Orange Rings and Nurdles. Nurdle is short for neurostenic plastics, which are the partial broken down bits in the ocean. Ring Nurdle is the title of the next one. And it actually has some recognizable images of crushed plastic bits in the mix. Mediums include marbling, screen print, etching, and lithography. Obviously, I love pushing materials. I use a press. Also love bad puns. I work in a 500-year-old tradition for Westerners. A movable type happened for the Chinese actually about 1,000 years ago. We are still pushing the print form. It is still evolving. And like most things we humans continue to manipulate, your PechaKucha program is a print. And FYI, there is an insect called a sea skater. It has increased its population because it lays eggs on nurdles. Look for it in the next set of prints. And thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, you morphed from 2D to 3D in there kind of quickly. Did you always work in 3D or?
Yeah, I did kind of always work in 3D, but it was very separate from the printmaking. And the printmaking was the thing, I really loved, so I had to work it in there somehow.
And I know we have a lot of visual artists here, and they might wonder, since you only make you talk about one print of your work, these days with the web, when it's out there, do you worry that it's out there stolen, gone? How do you guard your work to make sure that it's of value to you and it's your work?
Well, if you actually look at a print and you get up close to it, there's a very different aesthetic difference from the actual print and a reproduction of it. So I'm not worried about it. The image is there, but...
And this tar gel, what exactly, how did that, you just put some tar gel on a plate. What is tar gel?
Well, it's an acrylic medium. It's readily available from Golden Products, which is, they make acrylic paints, some of the best acrylic paints. And it just had these properties that I could see it was stretchy, and I said, well, what would happen if I put it on this plate? Did I pick it up? And I was very frustrated with not having a press on occasion, and so this was like the perfect thing.
Okay, and lastly, if somebody's interested in learning about printmaking, maybe here, how is that going, and How many people are interested in that these days?
Well, actually, a lot of people are very interested in it these days. It's got kind of an upspring because a lot of artists are interested in the aesthetic qualities and all the other qualities you can get from making copies of things. And you can take a class with me or somebody else here at the Southwest School.
And where can we see some of your things, aside from here?
Well, I have a website, and you can find it there. And then there's a gallery here in town, REM, but I'm not having a show there until 2015. And then I also have a gallery up in Austin called Grey Duck, if you're up in Austin, that has some of my work right now.
Thank you. Any of you ever said, come on up and see my etchings?
Yes.
Did it work?
Yes.
Okay.